and the Rube.
The great Jon Campbell joins us now, a regular all this football season. You're very familiar with his voice. Johnny Oddshark. You can follow him on Twitter at JONNY Oddshark. John, welcome back to the program. We're sorry we cheated on you with Chris Abbott the last couple weeks.
Hey, no problem. If you keep giving me intros like that, my feelings are never going to be hurt. Don't worry about it. Good to be back, guys.
It is good to have you. And it's I think as the football season winds down, it gets sad for me. Like when I look at the number of games and I see 4, I don't even see a 1AA game on there. There's no Division II game to bet the final. I don't know. It's depressing when you think about how many baseball games have to be played before we get a full slate of football games again. That's depressing. That'll make you throw up.
That is a depressing way to look at it. Thanks, Greg.
I try to bring the most depressing aspects of life out to life on the show. That's kind of
yeah. But see, you're a hockey guy, aren't you, John? So when football's over, you get the hockey. Yeah,
that's what I've been doing, hockey, and I'll get into college hoops here as well.
All right. Well, and college hoops I love. I just start to get a little melancholy about the. But I do love this weekend. These next 2 weekends of the NFL are perhaps my 2 favorite of the years, divisional and championship weekend, and very thrilled with the way MSU's basketball schedule worked out. That only conflicting a 4:30 Sunday game, only missing 1 game because of their schedule. So let's go through these games a little bit and see what you like and what you don't. I think this is better slate to bet than last week based on the lines. Colts plus 5.5 at the Chiefs. And the Colts are becoming a little bit of a darling here in the NFL. I like them a lot, but the Chiefs are a tough place to play. This line right here, I'm going to go Colts on like the money line here. That would be my play here. If I had to pick it against the spread, I'd probably go Chiefs. Where are you, Jason, on this?
I like Indianapolis getting 5 and a hook, but like John tweeted out yesterday, you have to pay attention to the weather. I don't know if John has an update on that, but right now it's kind of a stay away, but I don't know what you think, John. I like the Colts plus 5 and a hook right now.
I like the Colts as well, and this total, by the way, at 57 is the highest total we've ever seen in the divisional round. So that's something to watch here as we watch the weather. This is the highest average total we've ever seen in the divisional round of almost 51 points as well. So an indicator of what a high-scoring NFL season it's been. But I like the Colts here. I've been on the Colts for weeks. I love them. I got them 50-1 to win the Super Bowl a few weeks ago, and just looking so good right now. Excellent O-line, efficient quarterback. Great defense. They threw a lot of different looks last week at Baltimore, and I think that's going to help them playing the Chiefs here. Also, first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs when they make their first start don't do great. I think Mahomes will be okay, but going back to 2013, they're just 4-11 straight up, 4-10-1 against the spread. I think the Colts can absolutely win this game straight up.
Again, I like the money. Like, I think the Colts can win this. I think anything inside a touchdown, the way the Chiefs have scored, and they're a different team without Kareem Hunt. There's no question. That was, that's a shame for them that they're not everything they once were. Again, I would stay away from this, and I love the Colts story. I like Andrew Luck. I like that the Colts have come back so quickly, and but if I had to go, I'd go Chiefs here. But so Colts, and do you like that? You said the total's the highest ever. Do you like that total? Is it too much?
No, I don't think it's too much. I like the over here. Chiefs were the best over team in the NFL this year, and so I think that they always find a way to get their points. But the only thing they can do on defense, the Chiefs, is get to the quarterback, and now they're going up against the best pass protection offensive line in the NFL. So I just think Andrew Luck's going to pick apart this secondary. One more trend to note, the Chiefs are 1-11 straight up and against the spread in their last 12 games in the playoffs. So I really feel like all the pressure's on the Chiefs here.
It is an Andy Reid in the playoffs. We all know what tends to happen with clock management. I love that you got that at 50-1. I didn't see it that great, but the Colts were a great pre-playoff Super Bowl play, I thought, on that out. Okay, later that night, 8:15, the Fox game is Cowboys +7 at the Rams. I love the Rams here, and the one thing that scares me a little bit is Cowboys in Southern California, big fan base. I don't know that this is really field advantage to that much of an extent, and I don't know how much Vegas took that into account. But if you keep it at a touchdown, I love the Rams here. Where are you at, Jason?
I like Dallas, and I think this line is too perfect. It hasn't budged all week. Maybe it will the next 2 days, but I like Dallas getting the touchdown here. If you have Dak and Zeke, and their D is not bad, I don't think the Rams are as scary. The 7 kind of scares me. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I agree. I like Dallas here, and not a huge home field advantage for the Rams in terms of crowd atmosphere and all that sort of thing. But the Cowboys have lost 7 straight in the playoffs on the road, and only covered 2 of those. So last time was 1993 when they won a playoff game on the road. So I think that's built in, the Cowboys on the road, as much as anything here. But their defense has been exceptional and really good at stopping the run, which I think is key here. And I think teams are starting to figure this out. We saw the Rams lose 2 in a row in weeks 14 and 15. And I think what teams are trying to do now is throw different looks and slow Gurley and make Goff beat you, because Goff, of the elite QBs in the NFL, he's the guy that kind of has the most stinker games out there. And I think that's what the Cowboys will try to do. The way their defense has been playing, I think they'll be able to do a little bit of that, enough to cover this number.
The Chargers at the Patriots. Chargers +4. This is the Sunday 1 o'clock game on CBS. The Chargers, I do love them, and I love this line too. I love them straight up here, but I'll take the points. I don't think the money line pays well enough. I just like that they have 2 pass rushers who can get to Brady without blitzing and playing regular coverage, and that's sort of the way to beat them. I think the Patriots are a little limited without Gordon, and I know betting against Brady is. I just think the Chargers are kind of on a mission, and I want to see the NFL have a team that has no fans win the Super Bowl. I want to see the Rams-Chargers. That's what I want to see. I want to see the 2 teams with no fans have a parade, one of them in Los Angeles, that nobody goes to. But I'm going Chargers here. Where you at, Jason?
I'm taking the Patriots. Belichick in a bye week and at home. I don't know what the weather update is, John, but give me New England -4. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers here as well. This might be one that I tease, but this is the best home bet in the NFL versus the best road bet in the NFL. Pats have won 15 straight at home, and they covered 12 of those, so tough to bet against them. But the Chargers 8-1 against the spread on the road this year. Pretty impressive stuff, and I don't think they'll be afraid to go in there in this game. So I think it's too many points. One thing that worries me, if you do like the Pats, the Chargers gave up a league-worst 973 receiving yards to running backs in the regular season this year, and the Pats love to pass to the running backs and use those guys out of the backfield. So that's the one that really worries me here, but I still like the Chargers. That's the
type of information you only get from Jon Campbell.
Absolutely.
The running back stat yards. I mean, that it's enough to make you think. You're like, wait a second, that is interesting. All right, Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles at the Saints, 4:40 on Sunday on Fox. Eagles +8 at the Saints. I'm disappointed. The game I wanted was Rams-Bears this week, and I really wanted to see that rematch in Los Angeles. Eagles, I don't believe in. I know what we saw last week. I don't believe they've got another run in them, especially when they're going into New Orleans. I know sometimes these things don't play out anything like they played out in the regular season when the Saints pounded them. That's a lot of points. I'm going to Saints here. Where you at, Jason?
I'm taking Philly and that fat snowman, that 8 points. I like it. I don't know. Nick Foles, and we trust. I don't know. It's too heavy of a number. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I agree with you. And underdogs 14-1 against the spread in the last 15 playoff games now, going back to the start of last year. Huge number there. Underdogs have been so good. But the one spot to be careful with them is after they pull off an upset in the wild card round, they only cover at 38% in the divisional round. So some kind of conflicting numbers there a little bit. I still like the dog here. I'm not going to bet against Nick Foles. He's 8-1 against the spread in his last 9 starts. And the O-line has been so much better. This team just rallies around this guy and plays so well. During this 4-game winning streak, they held Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and Khalil Mack to 0 sacks. And that's a testament to just how well they're playing here. Going up against the worst pass defense at home in the NFL this year, I just think they're going to get enough to give the Saints at least a scare in this one and maybe win outright.
There are a couple of the games there. Is there one that you like the most? Like what's the game you would advise playing?
The Colts is probably the one I like the most. I think they have the best chance to win straight up there. That's the other one, the Eagles. I just can't bet against them right now. But teasers, I always say, if you don't know who to bet, teasers in the divisional round have been a great bet in recent years as well. So you might want that extra cushion.
I'm looking at the futures here, and the numbers come down as the teams shrink in terms of to win the Super Bowl. But there's still some value out there if you get on them now. When you look at teams out there, the Eagles at plus 1450, Cowboys plus 1950, Colts still plus 1,000. Is there value still that you see in the futures remaining?
There's not at this point anymore, because what the more profitable play is to do is you take the team that you think is going to win, and then you bet them on the money line, and then from your winnings you roll that over. You roll over your bet and your winnings into the next bet, and if you do that over 3 games, it's going to pay out better than what the odds are showing now. So we kind of missed the boat on futures, but like I said, I grabbed the Colts early on. Dallas was around 30-1 a week or two ago, so their number was still out there. Huge drop now, but that's what I would recommend, just betting game to game on the money line instead of taking futures right now. No,
that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I got the Colts a while back at 30-1, not the 50-1 you got, but it was still a good value and.
Listen to what John said. Roll that money over.
That makes
Let
ton
it
of
ride,
sense.
baby.
That makes a ton of sense. So you think about that. Too often we look at what Vegas gives us, and they package it for you in this nice little futures. But really, it's like we were talking last week with Trevor Darnell, and Vegas had this offer where if you bet all the home teams, it paid this, and it actually was a better play just to bet them all in a 4-team parlay. Like they packaged it for you, but the payout wasn't that good, and it, of course, didn't pay out at all. It wasn't a very good bet either way. Any other advice? Anything else you're paying attention to this week?
Well, there are a few props out there. You can bet on the over/under number of missed field goals. Missed field goals have been really popular the last couple weeks in football. That's at 3. I kind of like the over at plus money there. That's one I like. The over/under on road teams to win this week is 1.5. The over is at plus money. I kind of think, I don't know which 2 they'll be, but I think we might see 2 upsets this week.
John, beautiful as always. We love having you back. We'll hopefully talk to you next week.
Thanks, John.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
That's Jon Campbell, Johnny Oddshark, analyst at oddshark.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Johnny, Jonny, Oddshark. We'll be right back. Couch in the Rube.
You're connected to business